Welcome Between the Line Girls Hoops on this Monday night, folks. Monday night with my man, Coach V, and a very special guest. What's up, Coach V?
What's going on?
Man, Monday night, Coach. High school girls basketball.
For sure.
We didn't have to go too far to go get this one, Coach. We didn't have to drive to Tulsa. We didn't have to go to Arkansas. She's right in our backyard. Been around the coaching scene for a while, but we get to bring on the GOAT. I call her the GOAT because I've had a chance to go to school with her, known her since seventh grade. So,
boy, lucky her.
What'd you say, Coach?
Say lucky her, huh?
Yes. Don't tell people though. You know, we was kind of friends, but you know, just a little bit, Coach. Don't tell a lot of people though, because I don't want her to, you know, get a big head that she knows Tony J. So you know, it's cool if you know TJ. So you know, you get to get things when you know TJ. So it's all good. But Coach, what's going on? I know you got a chance to go catch some games, and I got to catch some games over the other day. Watching the Dell City preview. I got a chance to see Dell City, got a chance to see UConn, got a chance to see Norman North. I'm still scratching my head on Norman North, Coach. I'm going to scratch a little bit because Norman North, I think they got the tools to be really, really good. And sometimes they play really good. And sometimes I know Coach Cal just sit there and he just sits on the bench and crosses his arms because I know what he's feeling. I know what he's feeling over there with his team because he has a lot of firepower, got a lot of good guards, but sometimes, man, they miss some of the easy shots. And Dell City, I think Dell City's going to be a good team. People could be asking me about Dell City. I think Dell City's really, really good, Coach. I think they're missing a true point guard. You got a chance to see him. I think not saying McAllister's not, because last year they had Sasha, so she helped them a lot at that point guard position. Now they don't have Sasha. They are going to get Paris back here in another couple months, and so that's going to give them another boost. And they had three good move-ins that came in. Two from Millwood and one from Shawnee. That's going to give them a little bit of boost. And, you know, Coach White, she likes to play that zone. And if she plays that zone, she likes some girls to be long and athletic. So she's going to give some teams a fit. If you can't shoot, you're gonna be in a world of hurt because she got three good bigs. Got a freshman that just came up, man. It's gonna be really, really gonna make a lot of noise as a freshman. You know, you'll get to see her in that freshman showcase. So really excited to see what she can do. Then UConn. They had some couple girls move in. Still a team that, Roy likes to get up and go. He likes to get up and go. But I think they're going to be led by their point guard, sophomore Amira Harris. I think she's going to be the vocal point of their offense. They do got senior Paige. That's a really good ball player. It's really picked up a lot of offers the last few days. So she's out there doing her thing, going to show folks, as we tell you, got to go to these camps for people to know who you are. And she's been going out there and getting her name put out there. Not to because she was a Mustang Bronco product, ended up leaving Mustang and driving around the corner to go to UConn. So she didn't go too far, but a good ball player is doing some good things. So it's going to be really interesting to see how this season plays out because I think 5A. 6A, 4A, you're always going to put Lincoln Christian Pimsleur, they're still 4A, Douglas, Broken Bow, they're still in that. Then 3A, I think Millwood's going to, is going to make a, big time run. And then, you got Washington and then Dell. So you still always got those teams.
Wait a minute now.
Okay. What you got here?
Lincoln Christian they're either 3 or 2.
We don't know what class they're in, Coach. That's what I said. We don't know what
it'd be 3 or 2. If the rule passed and they could drop, they're either going to be 3. Their ADM is a 2 or 3A. I mean, point blank. They're the ADM. The boys been 3A, so the girls got bumped up for the state championships. The boys did not. So I'm going to that tells me that their ADM is a 3A. So it's a rule, whatever. I don't know. Coach Holbrook may help on that clarification. That actually going to pass. I think we all don't know what's going to happen to August. 5A, 6A, 4A, 3A. Who knows? In August, maybe September for some. But at 3A, I know Lincoln's going to drop to either 3 or maybe 2. 2A in football, 3A in basketball, I think is what's going to happen for Lincoln.
Yeah, but people keep saying Muskogee's going to drop down to 5A. PC North's going to drop down to 5A. I don't think that's going to happen this year. I don't know. Like I said, we got a 6A lady coach on here that's going to know more. She would have to deal with those teams in 6A. Hopefully they do stay up in 6A, so I ain't got to deal with them coaching 5A. But you never know what's going to happen, though. Especially with the. They start talking about the, like I said, like Bishop McGinnis. Are they going to stay 5A? Are they going to go down because a lot of the Christian schools are going down? So that's something interesting that we got to look into. Something we get to talk about the next few months. But Coach, what did you get to see? What have you seen the last few days before we bring Coach Holbrook on?
Well, so Karchi watched some small school basketball. Karchi looks good. I mean, Coach does a good job. Coach Brett does a good job out there. she's bringing everybody back from her state championship team. It seems like she got a really strong guard in Katie and got some bigs with the twins. Got another post player. So they look good. I tell you, the team that kind of surprised me is Wilson. Wilson been sitting around for a while in an A or 2A area. I think they got a senior class going through, and their 2-2-1 press looked good. It moved, and so Wilson's a team to watch. And there's some other good teams out there. It's kind of hard to tell. We're towards the end. A lot of people are on vacation, and everybody's missing somebody. So I think for me, those who stood out, McLeod looked solid as ever.
Yeah,
McLeod looked good today. I mean, they're not missing a beat. Everybody's there. They're hungry. They're ready to go. And if Lincoln drops out for whatever reason, that's definitely going to motivate them in the preseason, knowing that that thing is, I don't want to say wide open, but it is a little bit more open than it has been in the past. So a back-to-back person is out of there. So, so I think that they're hungry. And so those are the teams that stood out to me.
Big time, big time. What do you think when you was at the Del City? Any of those teams, anybody stood out to you that you like, hey, I think this team could be a front runner for 6A or 5A? Watching Del City, Norman North, and UConn, any of those teams kind of like, you better watch out. You better circle them on your schedule because you better come play.
Well, Del City needs a spot-up shooter. I mean, they've had one, they need somebody to open up the gaps for the driving lane. So, and I think they recognize that, and they're going to find one. I think the young lady came in from Shawnee. Her shot looks smooth and good and quick and moved on the baseline. So she'll create some gaps for the drivers. And then Norman North, I mean, they've got shooters. I think they just need a post. I mean, I won't say that the girls that they have are not doing it, but if they have somebody in a solid that they can actually go into every now and then, that's well. But they're going to do well. They're going to stretch out. You got move-ins from Norman who don't know the offense, the spread offense, timing, rhythm. Just like we're going to talk to Coach Holbrook, if she's putting her zone in, it ain't happening overnight. Her zone is very complex, and that's, I know I've faced it. And so it's not just a 2-3 half court zone. I mean, it does move. And so, there's some teams out there, you see some pieces, but I think Del City's got a chance. I mean, do need a shooter. Norman North's going to need somebody inside to hang with the bigs.
Well, big time. What about UConn? I think they got all the pieces, I think they, Roy, he likes to get up and go, it seems like he can go 7-8 deep right now. He might even go deeper than that, but it felt like, he had a couple good move-ins, the young lady from Moore, then he had the young lady from, I'll say Mary. Right. I think her defense is amazing. I think she's going to help them a lot on the defense. Her defense is going to turn into offense, so she's going to be able to, get some steals and create some easy buckets for it. And, she might be a young lady that can average, 6 to 10 points a game just off turnovers and doing the right thing. So they're going to be fine, though. Like I said, it's still early. I think these rosters are changing. I mean, Coach Holbrook, she can talk about that too, with her team, where they're at right now and where they might be at when the season starts. Girls move in. You never know. I mean, it's high school girls basketball. When Jenni probably played, it wasn't like that. Girls didn't move, they stay loyal to their school. But it seems like now girls are always looking to do better and go to better places and things like that. And sometimes the grass is not greener on the other side, which my neighbor's grass is a little bit greener than mine right now. I don't know what he did.
Man, how did that happen, Tony?
Man, he's watering and I'm not, because I'm trying to save that water bill. That's what, Coach. That's why. That's right, Coach. But Coach, man, I know we got somebody special. I know she's into this OU game.
All right.
So if you see her peeking off, you know what it is. She's checking out that OU game. But let's bring her to the table, Coach. Let's bring her to the table, though.
All right.
Hold on 1 second, Coach. Hold on. Here we go. Wait a second. Yeah, folks, you already know what time it is. It's Miss Jenni. And we're not talking about Lopez. We're talking about Jenni Holbrook. She's back on the block. I told you. I am happy she's back on the block. Yeah.
Tony.
Yeah, Jenni. I ain't changed since 7th grade at Jarman. I'm still the same TJ. What's up, my girl? What's up, Jenni on the block?
Tony. What up? Johnny
What's up, Jen? Well, Coach Holbrook, we're glad you could join the show, man. Glad to see you back in coaching. I've got a chance. This is really special to me because I got a chance to do Jenni when I was keeping 100. Got a chance to go to a practice and watch her get after it, man. And I found that clip. It was crazy. It's like, it was 4 or 5 years. It was a while back, you was going for your third. So, and I got a chance to know some of the girls, Boston and Maple. So I knew a lot of the girls. So it was pretty cool to go back and watch her get after it. And, Jenni had told me a while back, she said, Tony, ain't no sitting around in my practice. Everybody moving. The manager moving. The water girl. Everybody moving. The janitor's moving. Everybody's moving while Jenni's practicing. Everybody doing something. And she ain't lying, folks. If I can break that tape out and show you, everybody's moving. But Coach Jenni, Ms. Holbrook, glad to have you on the show. Between the Line Girls Hoops. Think you can take out time from the OU game and join me and Coach Vic. What's up, Jenni?
Well, OU's up 1-0, so that's good.
That's good.
We're
That's good. That's
oh,
good.
no. 2-0.
Oh, 2-0. Here we go. Here we go. We started off like that yesterday. We got to finish the game. So Boomer Sooner, hope we can get one. But Coach, I want to just ask you a couple questions. I mean, for the people that don't know you, you've been on the rock for years and years and years. Tell everybody that is going to watch the show a little bit about Jenni Holbrook.
There's a lot because I'm old, so I don't know really where to start.
Don't be saying all that.
Yeah. So I had been in the Choctaw Lady Park School District for quite some time. I played at OBU. Well, first, let's back up. Graduated from Midwest City High School with the one and only Tony J.
TJ.
Yeah. And went on to play at Oklahoma Baptist University. Stayed on a year and was Scott Norris's assistant there for a year. And then from there, left immediately, came straight to Choctaw Lady Park School District. I was the freshman coach for 18 years, on and off a little bit, having kids, getting married all during that time, raising babies. But staying and coaching freshmen, had the opportunity to coach under many, anybody who's familiar with girls basketball. Ish Kanatabe was there my very first year. He left after that. Totsie Manning, Dandy Peeler, Penny Young, Ryan Maloney. So I was there at Choctaw under all of those coaches. And so as the freshman coach, really, really cool. Went up and coached from 2013 to 2016 with Coach Maloney as his assistant. And then from there, and that was during Anna Lanusa years. And then left there and took the head job at Jones and was there for 8 years. Went from there to Southern Nazarene, got to coach a little bit at the collegiate level, and then took my hiatus last year, just teaching and coaching, or kind of coaching at Carl Albert High School and doing their strength and conditioning there for girls athletics, and then found my way back to Choctaw after all of this time. So
that's good stuff. Good stuff. I know the Choctaw faithfuls are happy to have you back home. Carl Albert, is sad to leave you because I know you're a hell of a strength and conditioning coach. Worked the girls out, man, got them stronger, faster. The things you did, and I mean, Jenni just don't mess around, everything's serious. I mean, she's loving and caring. But hey,
get out of it. They tried to get out. Try to get out of them workouts. Didn't happen.
They would take they got game day, coach game day.
Yeah. But yeah.
Well, Jenni, we got a few questions we're going to ask. Like I said, you're going back to school you started at. You won your first state championship with Anna Lanusa, and it's funny that a young lady that you coach that you won the state championship.
No. I left the year it was her senior year. I was there from freshman through junior. I left, and the first year I was at Jones, they won the state championship.
They won the state. Well, a lady that you got to coach, but now it's funny because you coach, like you said, you coached for 3 years, and she gets a head coaching job now at Norman, and you get you go back to Choctaw. What was it like a few years from Jones, and you went to Southern Nazarene? It's totally different than high school, but then going back to Choctaw. What was it like walking back in that locker room and you don't know what you have. You're just kind of, you might have, but you're going back over there, freshly new. Hey, 6A, things has changed. What was it like walking back in that locker room?
Well, one, it was a lot the same because everything that I had painted and done back in 2013 was all still there. So not much change as far as.
Well, we're gonna have to get on to Coach Corbin and Coach Goose on that because they're doing all this makeover, this football stuff. You got to take care of the GOAT guys. You got to take care of it. So me and Goose is pretty cool. So I'm gonna have to make a phone call on that.
Yeah, we're working on redoing the locker room, the coach's office, kind of gonna get a fresh start from the foundation up. So, but yeah, no, it was, it was a job that I've always kind of coveted. I interviewed for the job way back in 2012, 2013. Timing just wasn't right. So it was a job that I've always had my eye on. I live 3 minutes up the road, and so, but much respect to Coach Maloney and everything he's done there. I think they made it to state tournament 9 out of 15 times, 50 out of 15 years that he was there. So, very successful. And, of course I went on to Jones and did my own thing over there. But, I do feel, the timing's right. It's a God thing. It came open unexpectedly. I was not expecting when I left Carl Albert this past year and went home and started my summer. I was not expecting this job to be open at this time. It's kind of a weird time for jobs to come open. So it really, it was a timing thing. There were other jobs that had come open that just weren't the right fit. And, I didn't take those jobs. And, so I just feel like it all happened for a reason,
Coach V?
How long did it take you to say yes?
Well, it took me a bit when they got the teaching job right.
There you go.
They got the teaching job right, and I said, where do I sign? Because I will
Now,
be
you teaching yoga? I heard you might be doing back to yoga.
Actually, I'll be pushing play on the yoga got to be taught by me, but we're going to make it the best yoga class there ever was. I know that.
So every kid's going to get an A in yoga then, huh?
No, Tony. Everything's earned, not given.
Even in yoga, Tony.
We got to earn our grade in yoga. My daughter was like, these kids are going to be so disappointed when they walk in and have to figure out they actually got to do some stuff. They got to earn their grade.
Yeah, everything is earned, not given. I love it. I'm gonna put that on the t-shirt, Coach. Everything's earned, not given, from JB. Man, I love it. But Jenni, like I said, man, it's exciting to have you back in the coaching. I know a lot of people is excited to see you back on the sidelines. You went from a green jacket to a blue jacket, but it's different because you are going from what was Jones 3A. Mm-hmm. And going up to 6A, and a lot of things has changed. As you can see, back in the day, you really didn't have a transfer portal. Kids wasn't packing up and leaving, but it seems like now girls are just leaving. I mean, it's not saying there's no loyalty, because when we was at Midwest City, man, we very, very often lost kids to go to another school to play against us, or to our rival Dell City or Carl Albert. They stayed at Midwest City. So what's that going to be like for you to, I know already you lost a great player in Peyton Braggs, and hopefully she decides to come back home. But what's that like so far, having to deal with that? Because it seems like you got to recruit your own kids to keep them at the school they're at.
Well, it's very difficult for us old school coaches. I'm sure Johnny V could tell you, but you can't complain when you're willing to take kids. You got to be willing to lose kids. I mean, that's just kind of the nature of the beast. As old school coaches have kind of got to understand that mentality. Like, we're not going to complain when a kid wants to come over and play for us. So when a kid decides to leave, we've got to wish them the best. And, it is what it is. But yeah, it is hard. I mean, it is hard. Just because you would like for a kid to want to represent a school, represent their community, represent their team. It's not, and what kids have got to understand is, basketball is a team sport. It's not an individual sport. So it's hard for me to say, yeah, it's just about you, because it's not. There's lots of sports you can go play that it's just about you. There's some golf, there's some tennis, there's some things where you can go and you can just think about yourself. But when you play a team sport, you got to think about your teammates, and you got to think about other people besides yourself. So there's that fine line that I go back and forth. I struggle with it. I'm sure a lot of coaches struggle with it. I just know that I can control what I can control. I know that I can coach. I know I'm going to give my all to anybody who is at the school and at the gym that I'm coaching. I'll give them my very best. I'll give them my 100%. Whether they want to be there or not, that's going to be on them. But I'm never going to beg a kid to stay. Like, I'm just not. It's, if you want to be here, you're going to be here all in. And if you're not going to be here, go be all in, hopefully somewhere else. and be the very best that you can be. But my expectations, my standards, they're not going to change.
That's good stuff. That's good stuff. So you tell me you ain't got no NIL money?
I'm working on it. I wish. All of that stuff at the collegiate level. I mean, we know it's all going to trickle down. The transfer stuff, the portal stuff, all of that trickles down to high school in one form or the other. I know of several coaches that have collectives or are working on collectives who are working on trying to get that to attract players.
Mm-hmm.
It's coming. I don't like it. Again, hopefully I'm retired by then, where I don't have to deal with it, mess with it. I don't think it's the best for kids. I don't think it's the best for kids in college, but that's my opinion. So
no, I 100% agree with you on that. I had a discussion last night on Basketball Dads with a dad, and I was talking about when we played. I played at Bethel. You played at OBU. When we played because we got free education. We might have got now. Back in the day, the kids used to get like $1,200, and we used to think, man, that's a lot of money. Now these kids are making thousands and thousands of dollars, and some of these kids ain't even played a quarter yet in college, and they're making so much money. So my whole point, if you want to pay them, I'm not against paying them because a lot of these kids do put people in the seats and sell their jerseys and shoes and hats, whatever. But my whole point, don't go off and pay them their freshman year. That's paying them after they've done something. It's pay for performance. Like
we're set up on them.
Excuse me.
Put a contract on them.
Yes, I mean
you've got to commit to this place for so long before you can get X amount of money, and then that money goes in, into a savings or something where you can't access it until you turn X amount. I don't know. There's a lot of things that I feel like you could do to make it better and make it better for the kid, in the long run, not just instant stuff. But, we live in a world of instant gratification, don't we?
So what can Choctaw fans expect from you, from your team this coming up season?
Well, one, the girls have got to buy into the fact that we've got to put a great product on the floor. And if we don't put a great product on the floor, there ain't going to be any fans in the stands because they don't want to watch it. They don't want to watch 15 million jump balls, and they don't want to watch girls flying around, falling on the ground all the time because they're not strong enough, to be able to stay on their feet. And they want to go out and do all this fancy 1 foot move where they don't want to go finish on 2 feet, and they don't want to be strong in the paint. And honestly, people don't want to watch that. They're tired of watching girls do that. They want to see good basketball. They want to see good teamwork, fundamentals. They want to see fun, fast basketball, fast pace. So, my girls have got to buy into the fact that we've got to be able to put a good product on the floor. They don't want to see girls crying. They don't want to see girls questioning the referees they don't want to see bad attitudes. They don't want to see walking around, So from my team, they're not going to have a choice because we're going to do the right things on the court. We're going to do things the right way. And hopefully we put a product out there that people are craving and they want to come see. The biggest compliment I had at Jones was when people said they wanted to come to our games and they, no offense to the boys teams, but they didn't want to stick around, afterwards. They wanted to come watch the girls play. And a lot of that was because of the product we were putting on the floor. Now, did I have good athletes? Yes. Did I have, girls that, at the time could get up and pull down the rim? Yeah, it was fun to watch, but you can still put a good product on the floor, something that we can be proud of. I can be proud of as a coach. The kids can be proud of what they've done on the floor. And that's the whole mission. Are we being the very, very best that we can be? And that's all I can ask for from whatever kids that I have.
Good answer, Coach. What style are you going to play? Because I know, I got a chance to, watch you guys play twice already this summer. The first time when Coach, I think it was the same weekend, he kind of said he's stepping down.
Yeah.
And at the Mustang team camp. And then watching them play over at OBU, not knocking Coach because I know a lot emotions go into all this. Hey, I'm leaving. The girls are like, oh my God, we're losing Coach. Who we're gonna get? But I saw two different teams, Coach. I really did. I saw a team that the first time we played them, I think we had them down by 20. And they did come back. I know Coach Richie took some girls out, and they did come back. And then the second time I watched them play, I watched you coach. I watched you stand up and coach, and it's probably one girl that you really know on the team, but the rest of the girls you're getting to learn. But I watched you coach these girls and tell them good job, get after them, and all those things you did, and they didn't give up, and they got down by 12, had a chance to win the ball game, and end up losing by 1. So I think the girls are buying into what you're doing, but I saw the passion of you on the sideline coaching, and I know it's preseason, but you still was coaching, you still was teaching, and I think that's what happens sometimes. We don't we just think, hey, these girls are good, but at the end of the day, I watched you, Jenni, for all the teams that you've had. You've always coached these girls hard. You've always, I don't give a shit, they was your superstar. I remember Barry is one of your best players, but you would ride her, get on to her, and I think that's what they're going to get. Coach Vic is kind of like that. He took a lot of grief because hey, he was tough, but you guys are old school coaches, and that's what we seen. We grew up in the Coach Knight and coaches like that. Get after you, and I think these kids, like you said, they want to be pampered. They want to be, oh my God, I need you. I don't want you to leave. It ain't. You guys ain't gonna coach like that. I'm just gonna be real. It ain't gonna happen. But I saw the difference of your team from Mustang to OBU, 2 different teams, and so I think you're gonna. Just think about it, Jenni. You're gonna get them in the right spot. You really are.
Yeah, style of play. Never had a problem with shot clock or anything like that. Our kids are going to be able to shoot it, and obviously we want to play fast. I don't have time in my mind to sit around and react to what a team is going to do to us. In my mind, and how my coaching philosophy and how I coach is, what are we going to do to the other team, and how are they going to respond to us? And so when I went and watched these girls play at Mustang, I saw a lot of we're going to respond to whatever the other team is doing to us. And so really trying to shift their mindset to what are things that we are going to do in a ball game to make teams have to react and adjust and change to us, and how we're going to play at our speed, at our level, and make them have to be playing from behind and trying to adjust to what we're doing. And so what are we going to take away from the other team? I'm always looking for ways of doing that. How are we going to make them uncomfortable? We're going to switch. Johnny knows we switch back and forth, just many different defenses throughout the entire game. Obviously, I did not install those defenses in 3 days, before we went to OBU, but I was very proud of them for catching on. We were still doing the same things. They caught on to some different things that I wanted them to do, and they did it quickly. So I was really, really impressed with those girls. We were switching back and forth from man to full court chaos, I call psycho, to a zone. And no, my zone is not implemented yet. It will be. And it's something that teams really struggle with. You can't mimic it in practice. Therefore you can't practice against it the right way. You can try, but there's so many different nuances within the zone that it's just hard to replicate in practice. So the more you make the other team have to prepare for what you do, the more time you take away from them in doing what they need to do, which is get better at what they do. So that's always my goal. And so, these girls, with buy-in and with lots and lots of practice and lots of switching mindsets, not that right. What Coach Maloney was doing wrong, because he's obviously been successful. It's just a different mindset that these girls are going to have to get used to. It's very fast-paced. It's ever-changing. Very fluid.
You talk about that mindset of, I've always kind of been that way, and where we're going to worry about us, and hopefully Coach Holbrook's having to worry about what she's going to do against us.
Mm-hmm.
To me, the defensive mindset. In other words, we ran run and jump. You got to get the ball across half court against us.
Right.
And so I'm hoping that you're spending time worried about, getting that. Same thing when playing you guys, when you ran, I don't know, I call it, I'm old, so I'm going to call it a version of Twilight.
Yeah.
Okay. Right, I'm old, so I know what it is. But still, you've got to put time aside to figure out how to just get the ball into your offense.
Right.
2 passes, 3 passes. And I think once you get that in with the shot clock now, man, that's a killer because it is different. It is a different zone, and it does have different movements of where it passes to and how it rotates. I mean, you go this way, it rotates that way, this way, maybe a trap, and you do such a good job of doing that. And that mindset of people having to prepare for Choctaw is going to be, how are you going to get the ball in your offense? And you almost have to forget about your defense because hopefully you can score.
Right.
The other thing is I wanted to ask, you talk about mindset. This might be the first time that I know of your career that you're walking into a winning situation where they've won. They've been to state. And so here you come in, new person, and how do you get them to buy that? And I know you got the rings to prove it, so there's some evidence there. But still, though, Coach, it's not broke. We've been to state tournament, I mean, we've been there. And now you're going to make them commit to that. I know what you do in the weight room, and I know your kids are probably going to get 10 more pounds of muscle on them, and they're going to be able to knock the crud out of you, and they're going to make sure that they hit you on the way to the loose balls. But just, was that a change in your mindset of getting them to fix, what? They've been to state tournament. You're not taking over a losing program.
No, I think it's just getting them to buy in, just a different way of getting there, a different path. It is going to be different. It's going to be a lot different. Every coach has different philosophies and mindsets and the way of going about doing things. For me, I set a time limit on my practices, and Coach Young holds me to that. We lift in the middle of our practice. We do things a lot different. We'll practice on the court for 45 minutes. We'll go lift. We'll come back and finish up our practices. It's definitely a mindset. We're not going to let anybody out tough us, outwork us mindset. And we do that day in and day out practice. I think the work that they put in is going to be the belief that they need, that like, okay, we can do this. And, a lot of these girls they're going to be playing a lot of minutes, haven't got a lot of minutes, Right. I mean, they were, McKenna Austin got a lot of minutes last year on the court. PJ, I'm still learning all their names. Peyton Jones, she got a lot of minutes, but other than that, the one girl left, the other girl went to Millwood. There's another girl that went to Norman North, and those are girls that left, they're on their way out the door before I even took this job. And so, so these girls that are coming in, I think that they're excited about, okay, now it's my turn. Now I'm going to get to do this and step up and play a different role. And now I'm not secondary. Now I'm going to have to be the primary. And so I think it's all fresh and new for all of us. I'm coming into districts, I'm coming, Tony mentioned earlier, I'm coming in from 3A where, coaches are still voting. We didn't have districts. I'm coming into implementation of a shot clock, every single time we play. I'm coming in from 3A to 6A, so these are all new. I think we're all coming in, and it's going to be a new experience for all of us. And quite frankly, I'm not worried about the winning aspect. I think that takes care of itself. Whether it be immediate success or it takes a while or whatever it may be, I'm just worried about getting the most out of these girls that I possibly can on a daily basis. Not when the game comes, but on a daily basis. Are you doing what you're supposed? Are you being the very best that you can be today in practice? And so, leaning against walls, Tony mentioned, it doesn't happen. Standing around doing nothing, it doesn't happen. Not only my players, but my assistant coaches. Everybody's going to have their role in being involved in practice every single day. And it's a mindset. It takes a while, and it's not going to be easy. And that's what the girls have got to understand too. It's not going to be easy. It's going to be difficult. It's going to be hard. If it's not hard, and then I'm not doing my job as a coach day in and day out, then I need to figure out a way to make it hard in practice.
I agree.
So Coach, you won a few championships over at Jones. Taking that to Choctaw, what do those championships teach you? That you can take over to Choctaw to these girls that haven't won one. I mean, they haven't won one since, I don't know, some of these girls might not have been born when I won. They might have been 2 or 3.
2016, it'll be the 10-year anniversary of their last state championship this coming year. So
So what can you bring to them, coming from Jones to Choctaw, being a state championship coach? I mean, and like I said, you won one right before you went out. I mean, I know you lost, I think, was it the semifinals? I think you lost to Broken Bow at UConn.
yeah, we lost to Idabel.
Idabel, yes, I'm sorry. The young lady's at Broken Bow now, Jaylee. But I mean, but you won 3 before that, and you're taking your championship, history, what you've done at Jones, built that from ground up to now taking it to Choctaw. What can you take? What can you build off that?
The biggest thing that I learned, and it was so valuable, leaving Choctaw, not getting that job, obviously upset, way back, but the time spent at Jones taught me a lot. Truly to play to win and not to play not to lose. And there's a big mindset and there's a big difference. You can tell the teams that compete and they're playing to not lose. And then you see teams who are playing to win. They're truly fearless. They've seen everything. Everything's been thrown at them already in practice and in games, and their coaches put them in the best situations possible. So when they get to these big time games, they're not freaking out. They're not nervous. They're not, they might have a little pregame jitter, but they're confident because preparedness is your best confidence builder. And so when you are prepared and you get to these big time state tournament games, you're confident and you believe in what you do. You believe in your teammates, you believe in your coaches, and there's no doubt. So when you're playing, there's no doubt. When you're coaching, there's no doubt. You do what you do. Nothing's changed from the first day of practice when you walk onto the court to how you should feel when you walk onto that, because it's the same. And I tell my girls all the time, when you come into practice, you should be coming into practice like we're fixing to play the biggest game of our life. And if you're not preparing for that, if you're not warming up in that way, if your mind is not ready, to practice and to prepare, then when the time does come, mm-hmm. your mind and your body is going to freak out. You're going to be spazzing out, doing things you ain't ever done before in your entire life because you have not prepared the right way. So I have learned that at my time at Jones.
Good stuff. Coach V?
Coach, now I'm going to ask, have you ever thought about, I'm not talking about the one who lost to Idabel, have you ever thought about the 4-peat?
Yeah.
You were COVID year, you walked into the gym, you're warming up.
No, I didn't. We were number 2.
Yeah.
We had lost to Sequoia Tahlequah that year, 2020. This was my best team. You got to keep in mind, all those girls that won 3 championships, these girls were freshmen that year. We had a solid 15 girls on that roster that could go. And we didn't get to walk into that gym. We got to ride the bus.
Okay, I thought you were warming up.
We were the first game scheduled. We got off the bus and we came to a note on the door saying, it's postponed until further notice. But that was we had lost to Sequoia Tahlequah in the Bertha Teague tournament earlier that year. Watched that film over and over and over again. We knew exactly what we needed to do to beat him. We were going to win that. We were going to win that year.
He's going to get 400.
Yeah, I think about it often. Thanks for bringing it back up.
I'm sorry. I give you credit for 3, but I feel there was a 4th there that really was realistic, that you were primed and ready, and that team was ready to go.
Yeah, they were. We were playing our very best basketball at that, rolling into that.
You're right. Your post player was a freshman, then, wasn't she? You had 2 post players in front of them.
Sophie, that year. Are you talking about Sophie Woodson? She was not there that year.
Okay.
Yeah, she came the next year, but I had the twins. I had yeah.
Sorry, but I just want to give you credit that you could have had a 4th one. Though I think people forget.
I just added on to that. Just put a C by it for COVID.
Yeah, I know. I saw that team, so I'll give it to you. I saw it.
Johnny can attest to that.
Coach, I got to ask you. I saw you got Penny back on your staff. I saw your brother, your older brother, right?
Yeah, Joel. Uh-huh.
Joe, I saw him, and he was working with the iPad. What does he do with that? I mean, I just think it's, you've been here 2 weeks. Penny's over there coaching under the goal. I mean, she's
Oh yeah.
coaching.
Oh
Joe's over
yeah.
there with the iPad, man, and that's the first I've ever seen that. And a lot of the coaches, and so it really intrigued me. It's like, man, here she is. She probably don't know, like you said, you barely know these girls' names, and I mean, they probably had the word, little sticker on their shirt to say their names for you to get to know them. But you've already
It's
broke
gonna
out the
take me
iPad. You already got
3
Penny
years.
coaching. When you got this job, did you call and say, "Hey guys, we back. Let's go like Ghostbusters. Let's go do it"? Or
Gang is back at 100%. Absolutely.
I love
And they were excited. And then we get in the car to go watch them play at Mustang. And then we're like, what do we do? Are we sure we want to do this all over again? I mean, there's a whole world, another world outside of basketball that I had not been a part of for a very, very long time. And when you get out, you realize how much time there is into a day, and people don't understand how
much
time, and not only just physical time, but just mental space coaching basketball takes up. It takes a lot of your time and energy and mind space, and you never get a break from it, and so, and I experienced that break this past year. Of course, I had to be a parent, a basketball parent, and that's not easy.
Nope.
I would much rather coach.
Yep.
So, being a basketball parent, having to sit over there in the sidelines. And so I have gained some empathy and some things for the parents, having to sit over there. But it's hard, but yeah, my brother does, he's been my stat guy ever since I started coaching way back in 1997. So, he's always been by my side, always been there. He is a stat nerd. He's never been an athlete. He's always been the guy that loves sports and loves statistics. And so I put him to work, and he is in charge of all stats, all uploading all things to Max Preps and all things to Huddle. And if the girls needs stats for whatever purpose, he can pull those up in an instant and email those to wherever they need to go. He is a valuable resource. He gives me in-game stats where I have those at halftime, where I have those at any time I want it. And so it's a valuable, he brings his printer to every game. He prints it out for us, us coaches, and he is a valuable resource, and he loves every minute of it. He now has a job where he sets his own schedule, and he's already ready, to take off every chance he can get and be at every game next year. So he's pumped up, ready to go.
No, that's a good assistant coach to have. I mean, a lot of kids love to have that, man. I know Coach Banks does a lot for Coach Ritchie, but that's big time. He's printing them out at halftime, and hey, Coach, this girl is 3 for 15. We might need to have her quit shooting. Calm her down a little bit. Tell her to get to the bucket. But Jim, we ain't gonna hold you much longer. Got a couple more, and then we get off here and let you finish the game, folks. If you didn't know, OU's up 3-0. So hey, we might get another natty championship there. So that's big time for the Boomer Sooner fans. But Jenni, like I said, we're excited, for you. I know it was kind of tough, like you said. You was off for a while. You went over to Carl Albert, did a little bit of strength and conditioning. Got a chance to work under Mike Dunn and Andy a lot. What was it like though? Going to tell those guys, because we're gonna keep it 100, even though it was between the line girls hoop. Everybody thought Jenni was gonna be the coach at Carl Albert one day. If Richie would have retired. If he would have retired, you think you would have took that job at Carl Albert though?
Well, Carl Albert has been successful because the leaders there are phenomenal. Their school it's an excellent school. Kristen Goggins, Mike Dunn, Andy. I mean, all those people in leadership over there, they run that school like a tight ship. And I can really, really appreciate efficient, well-run operations. And they definitely have it going on over there. Getting to work under Mike Dunn was invaluable for me. I learned a lot of behind the scenes things that take place with all athletics. Mike Dunn is a true servant leader. He doesn't just care about football. He cares about all athletics. At Carl Albert, he's going to do it the right way every single time. So I really, really learned a lot under his leadership. And so met a lot of really great people. I loved every bit of time that I spent there. Had Coach Richie decided to walk away, I think he's got a few more years in him. But certainly, that would have been something that I would have considered, just because I love being there at Carl Albert. But like I said, I truly believe that God has had a plan, for me, despite me not knowing what that plan was, and just trusting him. And I felt like he's led me to where I should be, now. So, but I'm thankful, grateful for the opportunity I had at Carl Albert. They allowed me to coach at Southern Nazarene while still teaching at Carl Albert. So I'm indebted to them gratefully for that. Not a lot of schools would have allowed me to do that, but they allowed me to do that. So really appreciative of them.
Well, we appreciate you. I know you're a big supporter of the girls, helping them any way you can. And even though you're wearing the, blue and gold, and I still want you to be a fan of my daughter. I know she loves you. I know she speaks highly of you. I know you made her stronger and tougher this year in the weight room, and I appreciate that 100%. So like I said, I tip my hat off to you, not just because I know you since 7th grade and the person you are. I know Charm Williams will be ready to watch this show, seeing her two besties doing this, but just who you are, man. I've known you since 7th grade, just a genuine person. You coach hard, but at the end of the day, you love these kids hard too. And so Choctaw got a great one. They did. And, again, Coach, Coach Holbrook, I wish you nothing but the best, man. I hope you can go get your title. I'm excited. My daughter got one, and you know what it's like. You got 3 of them. Slash COVID's 4, but but you know what it takes to get there, and that's why I said I think Choctaw got a great coach, not just a great coach, but just a great woman, just a great person overall, man, that loves the game and loves being in the game. And I guarantee you probably putting more work in right now in the off summer season. Like, what can I do? What can I do to make them better? And you will. People, when you play Choctaw Yellowjackets, yes, they might have lost Peyton, they might have lost Lennox, they might have lost a couple of girls, Emma, but you're gonna develop the girls, and this me and Coach Vic talked about. You're gonna develop girls and get them better. So when it's time to tip off, those girls gonna be ready to play. They're not gonna be thrown out there and be like, oh, to the wolves. They're gonna be ready to play. So that's one thing about it. Choctaw's they got a great coach, a young lady that's gonna get them ready. Something I can say, Coach. Anything else, Coach V? I know she's ready to watch this game.
No,
hey, I do want to say Lincoln Christian is going to be 3A, and a little birdie told me more than likely Dale will be 3A. So 3A with Washington, Lincoln Christian, Dale, it's going to be tough.
Yeah.
In Millwood too, right?
And then it says Coitalico on there.
Woo.
Yeah, I heard that they were going to be 3.
What about
Dale was going to move up?
What about Muskogee and Pete? What'd you say, Coach?
What about Crooked Oak?
3A.
3A? Yeah.
Coach, might kick the kids out and drop down to 2.
2A might be where it's at these days.
Coach, what about Muskogee and PC North? Anything on them?
Let them take care of them. We'll take care of us. It is what it is.
I'm glad you're back in the game.
I can't control that. I can control what we do at Choctaw. That is the best answer. I do know they passed that return to home this past week. You guys know much about that?
Yeah, you leave, you come back to your home school?
You can come back to your home district. So if you live in
I live in Choctaw.
Yeah, so return to home, bro.
That was quick.
So above, so beyond, getting your one-time transfer within OSSAA rules, there's still rules that you have to meet to do the OSSAA transfer. They do have what's called now return to home. On top of that, so let's say so-and-so X leaves to go play for someone else. That was their one-time transfer. They now have the right, if they live within, let's say, Choctaw School District, they can return to home, come back, and be immediately eligible. So, it's another thing you can debate all day. Is it good? Is it bad? We're, again, out of my control, but it's the rules that we play by. So
do you get to Let me ask you a question you might know. So is the link rule being adjusted this year, or just
We got
is
an
it going to
email
change?
today. We got an email today. The link rule is staying put.
Okay.
From my understanding, I mean, you still, yes, you get your one-time transfer, but no, you can't follow your summer ball coach, over and go play for them. Supposedly you still got to sit out. Those are all anymore with hardships and this and that. There's so many ins and outs to it, but yes, the linked rule still is in effect.
All right, one more question, because I can't get an answer. So I know you're in it. If there was a girl that was an 8th grader, Carl Albert,
Yeah.
and she came to Choctaw, that's not
Yeah.
a link rule, is it?
Well, I didn't work with those 8th graders. Like if we were talking about from me specifically,
yeah,
so like,
say you were strength and conditioning, you were an employee at Choctaw,
right?
And it was, at Carl Albert,
right, which I was.
Come over. Is that a link rule? Or is that still the one? Because she's really not identified with any district yet.
Yeah, I can't answer that. I would be making stuff up if I did.
I mean, what about a freshman though? A freshman girl, to say Siani, you want to say her name, she was at Choctaw, she's in your weightlifting class. I mean, she's at Carl, she's in your weightlifting class. Now she transferred to Choctaw. Is that a link rule? Because
I have no idea. I honestly, I have no idea. You guys need to have Lenny Hatchett on.
We will. I mean, we'll have Lenny on. I mean, he might not want to answer some of my questions. We tough, but no, I got to ask one more question though, before we let you go, because I know what everybody's in this transfer portal and all this stuff. Now, when you do get kids that come to say, hey, they're going to transfer to Choctaw, are you going to meet with those parents first, or are you going to just let them come in?
I think the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to refer them to our athletic director. I'm not going to be out there actively recruiting. I'm not going to be, going and trying to get these kids in.
No, I understand that.
But my thing is, so, I mean, I have a process. I don't know, everyone probably has a different process, but I'm going to refer them to our athletic director, let him talk to them first. And then if it goes beyond that, I think, schools, just in working in schools, I think they are going to be picky on, one, I mean, I want high character kids, and kids who are going to come in and understand that they're going to play, they're going to earn their spot, earn, not given, right? We talked about that at the beginning.
Not given.
My expectations and things are going to be exactly the same. So, probably communication and making sure that, these kids just don't get to come over and just have an automatic spot. Again, sometimes the grass is not greener,
Yep.
That's true.
I agree.
So I think these kids, these parents need to understand, you need to want to play for the school that your kid's going to. Your kid needs to want to represent their school. They need to want to represent their community. You want to be able to play for something,
Right.
And as being an OSSAA sanctioned school, we get to play for state championships. There's a lot of these other teams going around where you're not getting to play for something. You're playing for yourself, your notoriety, but you're not getting to play. And that's the high school experience that I wish parents and kids would really understand. This is a one-time deal. You don't get to get high school back. You don't get to get high school experiences back. Mm-hmm. Obviously parents get to make, the best decision they can for their child, but there's something to be said for walking halls and being with your friends and being at the school you want to represent and going out there and competing for something.
Yeah, I understand.
Somebody's speaking from someone's speaking from the heart.
Well, Coach, we love you, man. Glad you got to come on, man. I'm excited for you, and this ain't gonna be the first time. We want you to come on more, man, and support our show. We want some of your girls on. I know I haven't done a lot with Choctaw, but since you back over there, I'll mess with Choctaw because my girl is back on the block.
Let's go.
That's it. But Jenni, like I said, good luck to you, man. if you need anything, man, anything that me and Coach Vic can help, we want to promote your girls. We want to promote you and your staff. I love it. Like I said, I fell in love with your brother. He broke out the iPad. He's over there just tapping away. I was like, okay. Coach Penny's over there coaching under the goal, man. And she's been with you for a long time. So that's a true friendship and coaching tree you two have together.
A lot of people don't know, Penny was the head coach at Choctaw for 5 years. She's been here, done that as well. So
good stuff. Well, Coach, we appreciate you. We'll catch you next time on Between the Line Girls Hoops with my man, Coach V. But like I said, we appreciate everything you're doing over at Choctaw. Good luck to you. Go take care of business, okay?
All right. Thank you.
Right, thank you. Bye-bye. Folks, that's Coach Holbrook, the head coach of the Lady Jackets over at Choctaw High School. That's going to do a great job. I'm telling you right now, she knows how to win. Coach said it. See, I forgot about the COVID year. She was going for number 4. She would have had 4.
Yeah, I played that team. I know about that COVID year.
And she could have easily had 5, Coach. Easily could have had 5. She got beat by – I remember that game. I'm at UConn. It's hot. I'm cheering, and I know it's me and Roman and Maples, and, I mean, we're all up there. And I'm staying at the top of UConn, man, and this pack – it's Idabel. Jaylee, young lady we had on the shoulders over there with Drive Nation 17U, had a hell of a game. And this girl was just a freshman at the time and went off and just, like, man. And so, and Jenny was, I wouldn't say she was down, but, she had lost a lot. And it's tough when you have that many girls year in and year out. And she'd rebuild. I mean, her camps, if you've never been to one of Jenni Holbrook's basketball camps, make sure you make plans for next year to go to Choctaw's basketball camp, because I'm telling you, she has about 100, 200 little girls running around and does a good job doing it. So, like I said, excuse me, I'm excited for her, man. I really am. I'm tickled to death just because who she is and the type of coach she is. Though you heard her, ain't no sitting around over here, Coach. Ain't no sitting around. Everybody moving. You heard it. Assistant coaches are running. She says, "Go get water. You better run that water. You better not catch you walking. If you are, she might kick you out the gym." Well, she said, "We lifting doing practice, Coach. I'm not gonna tell you to go lift with some other coach that ain't gonna make you lift. You gonna lift on my time while I can watch you." But Coach, anything else before we get out of here?
No, I'm just glad to have her back. She was gone for a year, but her involvement in the OGBCA is huge.
Yes, sir.
As far as girls basketball and promoting girls basketball. So to have her back on the sideline is one thing, but I can tell you, everybody not that she ever went away, she's still involved, but just her involvement in the girls basketball coaches association is huge. So it's just glad to have her back in that realm too.
Yeah. Well, Coach, you know what time it is. We want to thank everybody for tuning in Between the Line Girls Hoops with my man, Coach V. And thank Coach Holbrook for coming on and joining us on the night that she's watching them OU Sooners. Hope they can win another national championship in baseball. But we want to thank all our sponsors. We want to thank BSN, Triple Elite, Chaos, my man Manny, and Purcell. You know Manny does it. And we want to thank Rain Down Roofing, Cantrell Construction and Roofing. We want to thank our newest person that just joined the board, Lily Signature Homes. Like I said, we want to thank everybody once again for tuning into another great episode to Between the Line Girls Hoops. And also we want to thank Keep It 100 Above the Hoops. Did you get that right, Coach? Above the Hoops.
Above the line hoops.
What'd you say, Coach?
Above the line hoops.
Yep. Above the Line Hoops, folks. But like I said, once again, thank you for tuning in, and we'll catch you next time on Between the Line Girls Hoops with my man, Coach V, and myself, TJ. See ya. We out.